with Paul back there?
I think so.
Oh.
Give me a wave.
Yeah, we're being filmed. You are so you're
Portugal.
Cheers.
What are we going to do in Portugal? Watch rugby. You want watching rugby?
Yeah, rugby.
They call them the Greens.
Yeah.
Portugal Greens, New Zealand Blacks.
Oh.
Yeah. Kids are so fast. We are in Amsterdam.
Normal times, probably. This should be.
Wonderful flight, 10 hours later.
It's sinking, it's not done yet.
Wow. And there's a bathroom and everything.
There is. I don't know. Do we walk around the door?
Yeah, give you a big leg room.
Filming. You're filming, that's why you had to rush on.
Good morning, everyone. Bom dia. Let's start our tour. It's a beautiful day in Lisbon. And we're going to take you on a more or less 4-hour tour to the highlights of the city. They have some activities, they paint, they do games. It's really nice. So nowadays we use the tiles to decorate public areas just with an aesthetic purpose. In this case it's not really functional, but it's a way to show art in the city. Do you know who Prince Henry the Navigator was? No. He was the one who never navigated. He was the son of King John I.
Memory.
Porque os meus olhos se apartam dos teus, não queiras mal. Porque os meus olhos se apartam dos teus, não queiras mal. E as andorinhas que partam voltam ao mesmo beirão.
We're in Lisbon. We're in Lisbon. We're having steak, sandwich and a beer.
Where are we, Gary?
The wine shop in Lisbon, Portugal. Yeah, remember that.
Can't hear you.
Pretty good.
The traffic went by.
Yeah. Wine shop, Lisbon, Portugal. We're in heaven.
This is an adapted version.
Wow, how nice. It's beautiful.
Obrigado.
That's fabulous.
Let me tell you what we've got here. This is requeijão, Portuguese ricotta, very nice, with the dill and the lemon. We do it ourselves. Azeitão, sheep named after a village across the river. It's a classic in Lisbon. This one, soalheira, sheep and goat. And this one, goats, also from Soalheira town. Then we have venison chouriço, boar chouriço, Iberian pork paio, and Iberian pork loin paio, very tasty. Homemade strawberry jam and our house beet pesto. Enjoy.
Do you sell all these things as well? All these
Yeah,
food? Oh,
we do.
my. We would live here.
I can understand.
Yes. Very nice.
Hooray.
So this is the beginning of the pedestrian street right in front of us. So on our way down, after we visit the university and before we go to the restaurant, we will make a short stop here. And then in the back of the building, as you will see, there are still some remains of the ancient cloister that doesn't exist anymore, but they kept it as a little fountain. If you want to look to the right, you'll see it. And this is the university city. So as we go up, you'll see on the left some panels with blue and white tiles. Now I wanted to tell you that these young men and young ladies are here to sell some souvenirs from the university. They will be collecting money for different kinds of activities, students' unions, social support, and also for partying to go at the end of their degree to go on vacation. So if you want to take some souvenirs home, please do so. They will just join us on our very slow pace going into the patio of the old school. You can do it on your way in or on your way out, in case you want to take a souvenir from the university. Thank you very much. It depends. What are you studying? Law. How many years? 4 years. There you go.
Beards required.
Beards required. I think it's a hipster thing now. You know, girls like it. Girls like body hair and facial hair. I don't know.
Do you have any money? I'm gonna buy some.
This is the stadium here, slightly on our left. You know, we've hosted the 2004 European Championship of Soccer, and we lost in the finals. Against who? Greece. Come on, Greece. It was not even one of the big ones. But we built 10 stadiums. We built 10 stadiums for that event. And nowadays we have some for sale. You want to buy a stadium? We have a tree for sale. This is the man who is called the how do we translate? Friar killer, or because he was the one who signed the decrees that separated state from church.
I think you're supposed to put this in here.
Oh, I don't know. Is it champagne?
So, verdes and green peas.
So did you have a nice time in Lisbon? Was it nice? Very good. And some of you maybe in Madrid as well? Oh, very nice. So now the cherry on the cake, the cruise on the Douro. We just finished one cruise. We had the most beautiful weather, so it hopes it continues like that. It will, and we have some really nice tours arranged for you. You know, the two-way road, which is actually smaller than a bus, yes. That's a very challenging road. Yes, I know, especially if one other comes down. Right, here we are. So you can see, we're next door. We just have to pass through this one. ladies and gentlemen, from now on, Francesca, she will leave us. She was our guide for today. And Sandman, Milady, is your next lady. I like that. Host. And she will take you through the cellar. So big applause, please, for Francesca. Thank you very much. Thank you, Francesca. Here.
Hello, good morning. My name is Milady. So welcome to Sandman's Cave. So please follow me. You can take pictures. It's a pleasure. It's sweet, but it's got it's a little bit more angry.
Wow.
Now that's what you call a barrel.
So we have 4 kinds of wine. We have the white port. And then in April, May, the wine comes here in order to get aged.
Que nunca morrerá este fundão que nos transforma alma em poesia varina no eterno ventrão, assim como a eterna maresia, assim como a eterna maresia.
That's it. On board, easy as a car, same strap in, headsets in here because the noise, people say that helicopters, they do a lot of noise and they are really nervous in terms of being bumpy or something. That's second one is completely wrong, not at all. Really stabilized during all the tours and even all the turns we make. But yes, they are really nice, that's for sure. So we keep that sets on with a microphone on the left to communicate between yourselves, to communicate with Carlos, you'll be the pilot, once again for today's flight.
welcome to our cellar, to the last part of the staging of our wines, because the actual production of the wines is going to be in the Douro Valley, which I'm guessing you're visiting. Yes, very good, perfect. So this is the last stage of the wine, the aging part. I usually start my tours here because this is really the best place in the whole cellar to get an overview of really how much wine we actually have here. And trust me, we have plenty of it. Here at the Graham's Lodge, we keep roughly about 7 million liters of wine, divided by 2 floors. In the floor below, we keep roughly about 3 million liters of bottled wine already, vintage and other types of wine that we expect to sell in the coming years. And in this floor, about 4 million liters of them, divided by over 3,500 barrels of port. Okay, so please don't get dizzy during our tour. Okay, given that we're in the part of the world with the largest alcohol concentration per square meter on the planet, feel free to get dizzy in the tasting room with all the glasses of port that you have waiting for you. Okay, not up until then. Okay. So we're actually going to start over here with a very short highlight on our history, then we'll move through a geography lesson on Portugal, and then we'll go tour exactly the cellar. Very good. Very good. Let's go.
Yeah, the other place had that.
All we have here is actually red port, and red port can be divided into 2 styles. Ruby or tawny, and that's mostly going to depend on where we age it, because ruby is going to age in these large vats here in the center, and tawny is going to age in the smaller barrels. You can notice that both of these wines are in wood, and again we are going to use French oak, because French oak is very particular when it comes to porosity. So it has a very high porosity, so it allows the wine to be in contact with the oxygen fairly evenly throughout the barrel. So they're both going to age through oxidation. But you can imagine that they're going to age a bit differently due to the size of the vat they're kept in. You know, the ratio between the wine in contact with the wood to the whole volume of the vat is going to be really small in a very large vat and much larger in a smaller vat. So ruby, for once, given that the contact is very little, is not going to be very oxidative. So it's going to resemble an actual red wine in color, smell, and taste, with the added bonus of being, you know, port, super sugar and alcoholic. Tawny, in my honest opinion, gets much more interesting, but I'm partial, by the way. Because for starters, you're going to end up with a red port that's not going to be red in color. It's going to be brown, gold, amber, and much more clear than usual. Because through the oxidation, the barrel is actually going to absorb the color of the wine. Okay? And then in terms of tasting, it's not going to resemble a wine, but more of a liquor. So instead of, you know, strawberries, cherries, blueberries you're going to find with a normal red wine, you're going to have typical notes associated exactly with a liquor. Dark and dry fruits, lots of woodiness, caramel, smokiness, tobacco and leather in the old ones. All those really complex notes you would come to think when, for example, having a very good cognac instead of a port. Okay? Plus, ruby is limited to an aging in wood up to 7 years. And tawny, no maximum period of time. And these barrels here at the bottom are oldest. You can see that they're just marked very, very old tawny. But we know that they've been here ever since 1882. And they're still aging the same wine. They were actually purchased by Mr. Andrew James Symington when he arrived here in Portugal. The first thing he did when he got off the boat to work at Graham's was to actually buy 6 barrels of port. And the second thing he did was to have a party and drink 2 of them. And then, sorry?
2 barrels?
2 barrels, yes. They threw mean parties back in the day. And then, over the years, we actually lost 1 of them to evaporation. Port wine, being fairly alcoholic, tends to disappear rather quickly in the barrel. So of everything that we have here, we lose about 1 to 2% a year to the air. We call it the angel's share, which is very poetic, except the angels drink a lot here. And the other barrel, which was here, where this 935 is at the moment, was bottled by the current generation of Symingtons about 4 years ago. Fortunately, you can still buy the wine. It's called May Bleed. It's the oldest tawny that we have, 130 something years in a barrel. Being a very rare wine, we only made 652 bottles, if I'm not mistaken. It comes with a crystal decanter with silver, plus a leather case made by Smithson of London. So it's available for purchase for the very small amount of 6,500 euros per bottle. Or, keep in mind that you can try it nowadays in our tasting room at 500 euros a cup. I try the wine, it's very good, it's totally worth it. This 935 you have here on top is also very special, but for other reasons. This 935, alongside 2 of our other wines, 1912 and 1924, they were blended together to make an average 90-year-old tawny. that we released 2 years ago to celebrate the 90th birthday of Queen Elizabeth, which happens to be a very big fan of port in general, and of Graham specifically. We're actually the only company in ports to keep Royal Oil Warren from the Queen of England to supply ports of Buckingham, so we're very proud of that. Unfortunately, of the 90, we only made 500 bottles. 20 of those are 4.5 litre ones, Gerald Bomb, 6 bottles of wine, and the wine must be good. The wine is good, by the way. I tried it just a couple of minutes ago, because the Queen took 2 of those large ones. So if you're looking for a statement piece for your home, it's 6 times the wine at the bottom and it's 500 euros cheaper.
But it's beautiful.
Goodness.
What a treat. Yes.
You have the Graham 2007, the Vesuvio 95, which happens to be my favorite because for starters it's my birth year. And then you have the Dow 85, which is a personal favorite of mine, and the War 80. And then you have the 10, 20, 30, and 40 tawnies. And a very interesting taste. This is a very interesting tasting because you can see the evolution of the vintage in the front, the evolution of the tawny in the back, the different styles that we make in terms of vintage with the different brands that you have there. And then you can cross-check between them because they're roughly the same age. The 2007 vintage is roughly 10 years old. The 95 vintage is roughly 20 years old. The 85 is roughly 30 years old, and the 80 is roughly 40 years old. So you can compare the evolution of the vintage to get the evolution of the tawny in terms of the time.
Amazing.
I usually don't give a lot of pointers to this tasting because this is a very good tasting for you to take your time with the wine, just explore the wine. You are going to notice that they're going to be incredibly different. Graham, super sweet. Vesuvio, extremely fruity. Dow, very dry. And then Ward, super floral. And then the evolution, you only have tawnies from Grahams, which is a shame, by the way. For starters, you can notice the difference in color of the tawnies, which is outstanding. You have their lights in front of you to tilt from the glasses.
It's usually black tie, and I would like the vibes from this just have the one.
They don't want me to die.
Just have the one.
Graham's baby.
Then come over.
Where? He goes, exactly. And I'm going to tell him this.
Rio Mondeiro, dourou sinais ao luar, em tuas margens de sol, deixei minha alma chorar, em tuas margens de sol, deixei minha alma chorar. Ai de perguntar dia ao vento que diz às flores, ai de perguntar dia ao vento que diz às flores, para saber se é só uma esta linguagem de amores, para saber se é só uma esta linguagem de amor. Coimbra, terra de encanto, onde o mistério é o céu. Coimbra, terra de encanto, onde o mistério é o céu. saudades dela, quem nunca nela viveu, chega a ter saudades dela, quem nunca nela viveu.
12 minutes.
12 minutes? How far was it? Did you find out?
No,
Huh?
no.
I think they were saying 50, 55
Feet.
Yeah,
feet?
yeah.
Feet or meters?
Or meters.
No. I don't know.
Don't remember.
It was quite a ways. 12 minutes. All right. I'll go home and figure out how much that is a foot.
landmarks that I have here on my right hand side. These landmarks are granite stones, okay, where we have written the year of the register of the plantation with the during the demarcation of the area. Okay, so the first demarcation was in 1756. There were around 350 of these landmarks around the area, and the Douro Valley at the time, so during the first demarcation, was had 40,000 hectares. Okay, big, but today it's a little bigger. It grew during the centuries. Of course, we are talking about the 18th century until now, and nowadays the Douro Valley has 250,000 hectares, demarcated region, also declared World Heritage by UNESCO in 2001. Production, transformation of the grapes, production of the wine in September, October, during the harvest. Then the ports stay here in the winery during the winter in big stainless steel vats, okay? And in March and April we start to transport them to Porto, where they will start their aging process. And as you know, we have different kinds of ports depending on how they will age. The whites, the rubies and the tawnies, right? Remember? Yeah. Very well.
So, what happened afterwards? We had a very good period till King John I ruled, but then we had another king, Don Manuel. And Don Manuel was a very young king, he needed a wife. So what happened is he fell in love with the Spanish princess, Juana. She was the daughter of Ferdinand and the daughter of Isabel. So they allowed him to take the hand of his daughter, but there was a request and clause in that agreement that he had to either expel or convert the Jewish communities. So at first he said yes. And then of course he saw a big problem. The people of Portugal started rebelling against it because they had already family ties, they had business ties. And also he saw this bleeding of wealth going out of the country. So he made a little bit of a trick. He closed all the ports except the one in Lisbon. So all the Jewish families started going towards Lisbon, and then they waited. The Inquisition already waited for them. They started forcefully baptizing, standing baptizing, so grown-ups. In most of the cases it was symbolic, sprinkling holy water, and then they said, you are now Christians, you don't have to leave, you can go back to your homes. But in some cases it was more violent. They took their children, they brought them to Christian families to get brought up in Christian faith. So a lot of families again decided still to stay, now as so-called new Christians, also known as crypto-Jews, hidden Jews. Inside of their houses they kept their traditions, but outside they were playing the role of good Christians. So how did the Inquisition treat them? Well, they had to be marked. Here you can see, and also on all the houses, they had to put a cross on the entrance of the house.
Bienvenidos. Welcome to Spain. Welcome to Spain. Goodbye, Portugal. See you later. Big change. Amazing. Well, it looks a little bit wilder always here. I think because the Portuguese, they are actually always from every hill and every terrace and they try to make the most out of it. And here this is wild, but later on it will become flat, so a completely different landscape. So in Portugal they try to make the most out of every square meter, and here it's a little bit different.
church is open? Good. The house is called the Shell House. And it's called like that because of the decoration. You know, the man who ordered all this house, he was a man called Maldonado. Maldonado was a rich man who came here to Salamanca because he got to be a professor of law at the university. So when he came here, he wanted to have a house for him and his family. And he was a knight of Santiago. So the symbol of Santiago is the scallop. This is the one that you can see here. So the house was built at the very end of the 15th century. It was built when the Catholic monarchs were in Spain. You see the door, look at the very top, and you can see the coat of arms of the Catholic monarchs. And just over the door, you can see the coat of arms of the family with the 5 cardinals.
A la gente grande.
My goodness.
produce a liquor. We call it Muscatel from Favaios. This name Favaios meaning it's our very small village, like you can see. Actually, we are only 1,000 inhabitants, but we work all together in these 1,000 hectares to produce 30 million bottles a year. Yes. So speaking also a little bit about this cooperative. We created this cooperative in 1952. In that time it was created by only 100 members, but in our days we are more than 550 different farmers working to the same goal here. So in a small village like ours, I can tell you that we have at least one person per family that work with us. The other members, they came from the other village around here. But to explain you how everything works. Now we are in the reception area. So in the harvest season, the farmers, they need to bring the grapes in that big trucks, and they will stop the trucks right here. And here with this mechanical hand, can you see it? We will take a small sample from our grapes to measure the sugar content per kilo. And why we do that? Because here we pay by quantity and by quality of the grapes. And it will allow us to make a pre-selection from all these Muscatel grapes. Because we only have Muscatel in these 1,000 hectares, but these 1,000 hectares belongs to more than 550 different farmers. So when they sell the grapes, usually in September, we will have really lots of different amounts of sugars. So what kind of wines can we create with our Muscatel grape? With the less sweet ones, some sparkling wines and some white table wines. With regular sweetness, our regular Muscatel. And with the most sweet ones, we will create our reserves. Another kind of wine that we can also produce with our Muscatel grape, it's a late harvest. You know what is a late harvest? Yes, but if you don't know, it's like the Heiss wine in Canada, okay? But here we don't call it Heiss wine because the grapes don't froze. But it's that kind of grapes that we only make the harvest almost in the Christmas. So in the end of December, raisin grapes, and it will give us a very sweet wine, perfect for a dessert. The first machine is the dismember. So in that machine we will take the berry of the grape from the stem. And why we do that? Because the stem gives bitter flavors to our wines. The second machine is the crusher. So in that machine we will make a small cut in our grapes so it will be easier to release the juice inside. After we make this small cut, we will carry everything with all these pipes and we will send the grapes to our big stainless steel containers that we have inside, okay? And it's what I want to show you next. How we can produce about 6 million liters of wine in a small village like ours.
How can you cut the grapes?
By hand, cut everything by hand.
Each grape is cut by hand?
Yes, each bunch of grapes.
Cluster.
Oh, not an old lady like my grandmother can cut 800 kilos a day.
And you?
I don't know. Since I started working in tourism, I never cut the grapes anymore. It's bad to your
Yeah.
But after I make 16 years old, my grandmother, she put me carrying the big baskets, okay? So more body, let's carry 50 kilos, okay? So, but let me show you how we work here. If you look to our containers, we will see two kinds of belts. So one in the bottom and another in the top with that round part. The one in the bottom allows us to put hot water around the container until we reach the 16 degrees of temperature. When we reach the 16 degrees, we will give life to the natural yeast. So the yeast, it will start picking the natural sugars, transforming in alcohol, and we will start the alcoholic fermentation. But it's like this. When we start the alcoholic fermentation here, we will have two problems. The first problem is that the yeast also released some temperature. So in the belt in the top, we will put cold water around the container so we can keep the temperature inside between 16 to 20 degrees. The second problem is the gases. The yeast released a lot of dioxide of carbon. So it will push all the skins of the grapes to the top of the vats. And that it's not good because it's in the skins that we have the color and some of the flavors. So what we're gonna do when this happens, we will start the maceration process. And in these vats works like a shower. So we will pick the juice of the grape from the bottom, we will drop again in the top, and it will be always moving and moving and moving, passing in the skins of the grapes, okay? In the old times, we used to do this, stamping the grapes by feet. Actually, only to tell you that the real secret of stamping grapes is our body temperature from our feet and our legs, that we will pass to the grapes to reach these 16 degrees. The maceration process, we have two ways to do it. We will stamp again if we still need some temperature, or we will use some wood sticks to push everything to the bottom again. But like you can imagine, in a small village like ours, it's impossible to produce 6 million liters of wine a year by the traditional way. So we need to do everything like this, okay? But keep this, even in our days, some of the biggest port wine companies, they still pay us to stamp the grapes by feet, okay? So even with all this new technology, the best way to do it is like in the traditional way, okay? So, but speaking a little bit more about our alcoholic fermentation, it's like this. If we let the alcoholic fermentation happen during 10, 15 days, we will have a table wine, red or white, depending with the kind of grapes that we are working. To make our muscatel, we will use the same process that we use to produce a port wine. So in the third day of the alcoholic fermentation, we will stop this alcoholic fermentation having a strong wine spirit, like the Italian grappa, with 77% of alcohol. It's so strong that yeast can handle and explode. So we will stop the fermentation, we will have alcohol to our wines, and the most important thing, we will keep the natural sugars from a very, very sweet grape. It's because of that muscatels and port wines, they are very sweet, but they are also very strong in alcoholic percentage, okay? Small barrels. In the middle row, we have about 10, 15 American oak barrels. And the carbonate, so the sweetness, and the Portuguese oak is very, very similar to the chestnut. So please, I'm going to ask to everyone to come closer to the table. Let's pick a glass and let's taste our muscat. Oh, another thing that you can find in our shop is our Follow Me sweatshirts. I know why. So we have like two kinds of brands. We have Follow Me, I know where the wine is, and we have Keep Up, I know where the wine is, okay? But we have all kinds of products, so sweatshirts, t-shirts, aprons, polo shirts, hats, and even some magnets, okay? So all sort of things. So it is. I hope that you enjoy this moment with me. I want to wish you a wonderful vacations here in Portugal and Douro Valley. Please, have some fun. And I can promise, if you come back to Cavaias, we will be here waiting for you to have another moment. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you, João. My name is João Pereira and I will be your guide during this visit. I know you have already discovered our secrets about our muscatel, right? But here we have another important product, our Four Corners bread. Here we have 8 bakeries, 5 of them in a traditional way, with firewood ovens. Each bakery can produce 1,000 breads a day. It means our village can produce 8,000 breads a day. Well, it's impossible to sell all this bread in our small village. We need to sell it in another village around Cavaias, and we also can sell it to Lisbon and Porto City, because our bread can stay 4 days fresh. I want to show you one of these bakeries, of course. But first, let me introduce you this building here. This building was our primary school at the time of Salazar, our prime minister. He ordered to separate the boys and the girls. If you look at first door on top, you can see right sexo feminino. It means ladies classroom. If you look at the other side, you can see right sexo masculino. It means boys classroom. Nowadays we already forgot the law of Salazar, and we have them all together. We believe we learn more this way. Now, are you ready to walk a little bit?
Yes.
It's just 4 minutes in a slow walk. Take your time, we are going this way. Thank you. So, welcome to Dona Rosalia's bakery. Bom dia, Dona Rosalia.
Bom dia.
This is the oldest bakery from our village. The ovens we have here have more than 150 years. And well, to make a four corners bread, we need 4 ingredients: flour, yeast, salt, and water. We mix these 4 ingredients in this machine here, excuse me, lady, here, to create a dough. This dough remains in machine 1 hour to rise. After that time, Dona Rosalia picks this dough and puts it on this table. Then she starts cutting pieces to give the mold with this tool here. She needs 12 movements to make a 4-cornered bread. Here, some bakers, while they are making the bread, they are praying and making a cross. And on the last time they say, "I hope you rise." And then they put the bread. We can hope. We put the bread one by one inside the trays to rise for more 25 minutes. While the bread is still rising, they start to prepare the oven. They put plywood inside, set fire and wait. The secret of controlling the temperature is on the bricks inside the oven. When all bricks becomes white, it means we already have the necessary temperature. So we take the ashes out, clean everything, and we put the bread one by one inside the oven. And we just need to wait for more 30 minutes to have our delicious bread that I invite you all to try right now, of course. We have some cheese, some butter, some peach jam, and of course some muscatel for you. More muscatel. We must break the bread with our hands. Feel free, please.
Okay. Dive in.
Oh,
That.
look at the size of this.
Look at me.
Got a piece? Right. Eu como um bocadinho, tá? Vou comer um pouco. Devo? Obrigado. Okay. Yes. So the next place we go, I have to walk. And Joe, you will tell us.
Are you ready to walk?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I'll go first. Okay. Are you going with us, Joel?
Yeah.
Okay. Joel will still sing the rest of what? Of course you can. Muito obrigada. Thank you. Muito obrigada. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Welcome to Pavaios, and now I want to show you our museum. And in this museum we show a little bit more of our bread and of our wine. And we will speak inside. So, let me introduce you here, Anna. She's the director of this museum. She wants to say welcome to you. She speaks in Portuguese and I will try to translate in English.
Sorry? Bom dia.
Bom dia.
Sejam bem-vindos ao Museu do Pão e do Vinho de Favaios.
Welcome to the Museum of Bread and Wine of Favaios.
Aqui mostramos 2 produtos únicos em todo o mundo, o pão e o vinho. Estes 2 produtos que estruturam por completo a vida das pessoas em Favaios.
And in this museum we show a little bit more of our 2 main products, our wine, Moscatel, and our bread. That bread. And with these 2 main products that move with our local economy, because the people from this village they survive because they work in the Moscatel business or in the bread business.
Agradeço a vossa visita, espero que gostem e que sejam divulgadores de tudo aquilo que vão ver perante as vossas famílias, os vossos amigos e que também eles possam vir visitar um dia.
She hoped that you like the tour here and please take a picture to show your friends and family and maybe bring their friends and family to visit.
Obrigada!
Obrigada!
Quinta da Avesada in Favai. Oh. Now you arrive to the center of these 1,000 hectares of more or less a plateau. More or less. But very different from the terraces that you are used to see during your cruise. Yeah. And during this morning, you already found our secret. In the cooperative, we produce almost 30 million small bottles, but 90% is consumed in the Portuguese market. We drink a little bit. But what we have today, that big cooperative, and all the families put the grapes in that place, to have one label, the name of our village, one product, that is the muscatel. Everything started here, in my family, in this farm, at more than 100 years ago. And this is what I want to show you. In a very simple way, all the traditional process of transforming this grape in this liquor. You saw the industrial. I want to show you the traditional. So, are you ready? Ready! Come with me, please. It's this way. % of muscatel grapes. So it will be very floral in nose, very fruity in mouth, and it will have a quick end. A quick end is a technical term that we use to explain a dry wine. Very different from the other that we taste during our day that is very sweet. In this case, after we digest, we speak a little bit and the flavor disappears. But don't worry, drink another glass, please. The flavor come back. Easy. The red wine that we will serve is not from our plateau. Sorry. He's my youngest brother. He's the engineer. And he's always picking different grapes from different places. So to make this red wine, he chooses the grapes from vines that are planted at 200 meters above sea level and in the terraces. He picks the grapes and he brings the grapes to here to stump by feet, really, in that granitic tanks that we saw it. Is a traditional wine from Douro Valley. Oh, and my brother told me to tell you to not worry, he washed the feet. I hope. As a starters, we will serving you 3 very typical Portuguese dishes. It will be our codfish, that we call it in Portuguese pataniscas de bacalhau. We love bacalhau. Our typical sausage, that we call it alheira, and the small pieces of roasty pork, we call it rojões. We take the fat area, we eat the other with the farmers. Don't leave your land, stay here, because with my wine, and she was a big wine producer, I will sell my wine, and with that money, I will give you food. So the lady Ferreirinha orders to make in the big steel pot a soup with everything that phylloxera don't eat. And she orders to give 2 times a day in all village from Douro. It was that soup that make us strong in belly, perhaps, that we will serve next. We make the soup like the lady Ferreirinha made in that big steel pot. I hope that gives you strength to continue your tour all year for many, many years, because I hope see you again in another occasion. That's it. All right. It's like
Cheguei há pouco tempo, acho que tinha só pra ver, tá bom.
Yeah. The youngest god from the Mount Olympus, that god that start making wine, but without authorization from all the gods. His name is Bacchus. Oh, you know. But to have permission, Bacchus climbed to the top of Mount Olympus. And in the front of all the gods, he said, "My gods, this liquid is called wine. And this wine, it will disport all of your 5 senses." Zeus, the god of all the gods, stand up and he said, my 5 senses? I don't believe it. Show us these that you call wine. So Bacchus put in the front of each god a glass of red or white wine, and he said, "Please, my gods, pick that glass. So please, let's become a god for a little bit and start with the first sense, that is the touch." Oh my gods, I need your help to do the ceremony. I need you to pick your glasses.
All right.
Is the touch. Now with me. Oh my God. Yes. Please see that color. Oh, wow. Wow. Oh my God. Yes. Please feel that perfume. Oh my God. Yes. Please feel that taste. Yum, 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 yum. But Zeus stand up and he said, "Oh, Bacchus, you fooled me. You said the 5 senses." And Bacchus answered, "Oh, I'm so sorry, my gods, but I forgot. Oh, my lady, bring your glass, please." It's the sound of the wine. Cheers! Yes! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
I think they're just taking the stopper out as a whole lot faster, isn't it?
They're gonna make that thing red hot.
I think so.
Have you ever seen how you can open a vintage bottle? Have you seen it?
No.
Well, first of all, next to me, you all know her for sure, is our lovely bar chef Andra. Round of applause. She was here with you this week, and she was here always taking care of you, together of course with the other guys at the bar. But she is, well, she knows how to open a very special bottle. It is a vintage bottle, and she will open it in a very special way. As you can see, she has a special tongue in her hands. This tongue has to be heated, has to become very, very hot.
So now starts the show. Yeah, show time now.
You read? Okay, concentration. It's very quiet.
Nobody's breathing.
It does work, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, I smell burning. Something is burning. Andra! She is wonderful.
How strong is that wind going? Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the last afternoon evening here on board. You will leave us tonight or tomorrow morning. So from my side, and I think we had a great cruise. That is my idea. So ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank you for that. Thank you for cruising with us on behalf of the entire crew of the Viking Hemming. And I do not say goodbye, I don't like that, but I just say see you next time until we meet again. Thank you very much. Obrigada. Thank you.
Je vois la vie en rose. Il me dit des mots d'amour, des mots de tous les jours, et ça me fait quelque chose.